This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From The Economist, the IMF cuts its global growth forecast for 2022. The International Monetary Fund has published a new World Economic Outlook, or WEO, which contains pessimistic predictions about where we're going economically, compared to those contained in the last WEO, which was published in October of 2021. The outlook is less good, by the IMF's estimations, for pretty much everyone, with few exceptions, due in large part to the increased uncertainty and damage, human and otherwise, caused by the Omicron COVID variant, the upending of China's real estate industry, and inflation in the US and throughout the world, which in some cases is hitting the highest levels seen for decades. Importantly, this report isn't destiny. It's just an assessment of the available macroeconomic data, so it tends to be as well-informed as such analyses can be, but it's as susceptible to mistakes or misinterpretations as any other report. From the Wall Street Journal, Mouse tops Amazon bestseller list after Tennessee School Board pulls graphic novel. A graphic novel called Mouse, which was originally published in 1980 and depicts the Holocaust, but with characters portrayed as animals instead of humans, has been removed from the 8th grade curriculum of schools under the jurisdiction of the McMinn County Board of Education in Athens, Tennessee. This removal, ostensibly for quote-unquote vulgar words and topics deemed to be inappropriate for 8th graders, has led to much criticism for the board, but also a surge in sales for the book on Amazon, rocketing it to the top of the platform's bestseller list. This decision, unto itself, isn't unusual for a relatively small school district in the U.S., and for a board running such a district. Books are booted from schools for all sorts of reasons, all the time, for sometimes reasonable, sometimes laughable, purported rationales. But this story got big because it played out in the context of a larger effort by conservative lawmakers and school board officials around the U.S. to either ban or remove books from their school's curriculum, seemingly on the basis that these books teach uncomfortable realities about race in the United States, and in some cases, seemingly because they were written by authors from disliked minority groups. There's also an element of the Streisand effect at play here, which means as soon as you tell people not to look at something, or that they're not allowed to look at it, they will go far out of their way to look at that thing, even if they wouldn't have cared otherwise. And from Kotaku, Sony buys Bungie, makers of Destiny 2, for $3.6 billion. Sony, maker of PlayStation gaming consoles, has acquired Bungie, the maker of games like Destiny and Halo, for about $3.6 billion. Some analysts suspect Sony is scrambling to grab a high-end maker of well-known, much-beloved games before someone else does, while also moving to compete with rival Microsoft's recent acquisition for a much larger sum of Activision Blizzard, which gives them and their Xbox line of consoles access to a huge library of intellectual property. It's also suspected Sony might be trying to diversify their income streams with this acquisition, as most of their catalog is predicated on more traditional game-buying activity, while many new games, like Fortnite and Call of Duty, are reliant on in-game purchases, and the Destiny series provides Sony a means of benefiting from those same sorts of purchases moving forward. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. and you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts, at understandery.com.